What began as a cheerful, music-filled morning on Today with Jenna and Friends spiraled into one of the show's most jaw-dropping moments when Kelly Clarkson abruptly walked off the set after a heated and emotional exchange with co-host Jenna Bush Hager. The segment started light, with laughter, compliments, and crowd-pleasing banter about Kelly's new album, her Las Vegas residency, and her journey as a single mother balancing fame and parenting. Dressed in a vibrant floral dress and flashing her usual warm smile, Kelly looked relaxed, cracking jokes and even singing a few impromptu lines for the live audience. However, the tone shifted dramatically when Jenna brought up Kelly's divorce, something Kelly has spoken about publicly in her music but rarely discusses in interviews. What was framed as a question about growth and reflection quickly turned personal, as Jenna asked whether Kelly regretted how public her split had become and whether she felt she had handled it gracefully. The question hung in the air awkwardly. Kelly's smile faded. She paused, visibly thrown, before responding carefully. "I think I handled it the only way I could at the time. I was surviving." Jenna pushed again, suggesting that some critics felt Kelly had leaned too hard into the heartbreak narrative in her music and public appearances. That's when the temperature dropped. Kelly looked directly at her, her tone sharp but calm, saying, "Telling the truth isn't leaning into anything, it's living through it." The studio audience fell silent, sensing the emotional weight. Jenna, perhaps realizing she had crossed a line, tried to soften the moment, but Kelly wasn't having it. She added, "If you invite someone on to talk about their work, but then hit them with judgment about their life, maybe the problem isn't the guest." Without waiting for a response, Kelly unhooked her mic, stood up, and walked off the set with a controlled, purposeful stride. Producers rushed to cut to commercial, and when the show returned, Jenna sat alone with a strained smile and a hastily restructured segment, apologizing to viewers for the unexpected interruption. Online, the moment exploded. The hashtag #KellyWalksOut began trending within the hour, with fans rallying behind her for setting boundaries and refusing to be cornered. Celebrities voiced support. Pink tweeted, "Never apologize for protecting your peace," while Sheryl Crow posted, "Truth tellers don't owe anyone comfort." NBC later issued a vague statement thanking Kelly for her appearance and expressing regret over the segment's direction, while Kelly's team released a single sentence: "She said what she needed to say." What was supposed to be a routine morning show interview became a viral cultural moment, one that reminded millions that even in a world built on smiles and spotlights, no one is obligated to stay silent in the face of emotional ambush. In the wake of Kelly Clarkson's dramatic and unexpected walk-off from Today with Jenna and Friends, the fallout behind the scenes and across the media landscape was immediate, intense, and impossible to ignore. Just moments after Kelly left the set, her mic still clutched in her hand and her jaw visibly clenched, production staff rushed to adjust the show's schedule in real time, scrapping a planned cooking segment and cutting to an extended commercial break. Jenna Bush Hager was seen off-camera in deep conversation with producers, reportedly shaken and visibly upset, while guest co-hosts whispered among themselves about whether the interview had crossed a line. As soon as the show returned from break, Jenna offered a tightly worded acknowledgement of Kelly's absence, saying only, "We had a moment of real emotion, and we respect Kelly's decision to step away," before pivoting to a soft lifestyle segment about fall fashion. But outside the studio, the story had already gone viral. Within an hour, clips of the moment were everywhere, on X, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram Reels, accompanied by captions like, "Kelly doesn't play when it comes to boundaries," and "This is what strength looks like." Fans poured into comment sections with praise for her composure and refusal to tolerate what many saw as a veiled attempt to publicly shame her under the guise of journalism. Hashtags like #RespectKelly, #KellyWalksOut, and #ProtectYourPeace topped trending charts, and commentators quickly picked up the story. Media personalities on both sides of the spectrum weighed in, with many noting that Jenna's questions felt pre-scripted and strangely pointed for a show known for its warm and friendly tone. Some viewers accused the segment of exploiting Kelly's pain for ratings, while others defended Jenna, arguing that her questions reflected what fans were already curious about. Still, the overwhelming consensus online leaned in Kelly's favor, especially after more details emerged. Several entertainment reporters cited anonymous sources from within NBC who claimed that Clarkson's team had explicitly asked producers beforehand not to make the interview personal, emphasizing that Kelly was willing to discuss her music and career but wanted to avoid any invasive commentary about her private life. That revelation only fueled further backlash against the show. Public figures began chiming in. Glennon Doyle tweeted, "Boundaries are not only allowed, they're essential," while Mindy Kaling reposted the clip with the caption, "Kelly said nope, and I love her for it." Later that evening, Kelly Clarkson's official account broke its silence with a short video message. Seated in a quiet room with a soft smile, she addressed the incident directly, saying, "I've been in this business a long time. I know what I've been through, and I know what I'm healing from. I walked away today not because I was angry, but because I've learned not to let anyone take me backwards. I came to talk about my music, my joy, my future. That's the only story I'm here to tell." The video garnered millions of views within hours and was hailed as a masterclass in grace and boundary setting. Behind the scenes, NBC executives reportedly held a tense emergency meeting about the situation. No one was officially reprimanded, but new interview protocols were quietly introduced, requiring tighter communication between producers and guest teams prior to live appearances. Jenna Bush Hager addressed the moment again on the following day's show, offering a more personal and tearful statement in which she said, "I never wanted Kelly to feel attacked. I adore her, I admire her, and I wish things had gone differently." The apology received a mixed response. Some viewers felt it was sincere, while others believed it was an attempt to deflect blame after the damage had already been done. Meanwhile, Kelly's album, which had been quietly climbing the charts, suddenly rocketed to #1 on iTunes and saw a massive spike in streaming across all platforms. The story dominated entertainment headlines for days and even made its way into political and cultural discourse, with some commentators holding it up as an example of how women are often expected to perform emotional labor, even when discussing their trauma, under the guise of relatability. In the end, what was supposed to be a cheerful morning promo turned into a defining moment for Kelly Clarkson's public image, one not about heartbreak, but about strength, clarity, and control. While she may have left the studio early that morning, she walked straight into the hearts of millions who saw in her a reflection of their own fight for peace and self-respect.